Let's start with, I think, one of your big announcements, which is the new 5 Series. We have right behind us
Absolutely.
here. Tell us about this car and why it's important to BMW.
You know, for many people, the 5 Series is the core of the brand. When you're asked to say, what does BMW stand for, 5 Series comes out more often than any other answer. Last generation, we did 2.3 million of these around the world. We've been the segment leader in virtually every country with this car. It's very important to us. The new car, I think, breaks a lot of new ground. It's 100 kilos lighter. It is the business athlete. It is the car that is more connected than any other. It does have the latest semi-autonomous driving capability. And at the same time, you know, it builds on all of that excitement that you'd expect from a 5 Series.
As important as the 5 Series is, it's a little bit bucking a trend, at least in the United States here, a move toward SUVs, crossovers, trucks, things like that. Explain to us how that works for BMW.
You know, I think it could be fair to say we invented the sports activity segment with the first car, which was the X5, produced in 99 and 2000. Last year, we did over 700,000 SAVs, about 33% of our overall business. But that's now, of course, a big lineup of vehicles from the X1 all the way through to the X6. And X7 is in the pipeline. Right over the other side of the show there, or of our stand, you'll see the X2 concept. That'll hit the streets this time next year. X7 will be a little bit after that. So I think we're seeing the trend. We're seeing it move probably towards a 50-50 balance, but the rest of the 50% is made up of the sedans. And the sedans, of course, are a big part of our business, 3 Series, 5 Series, and ultimately the 7 Series.
Yeah, to be clear, the X2 being a SUV, a crossover SUV.
Crossover SUV, you know, slightly higher seating position, great looking design, exotic colors, and I think one of our American dealers was on the stand this morning and said, yeah, this is going to be the young person's car here in the US.
Another big story here at the auto show, also big for BMW, is electrical vehicles. And actually we have electric vehicles. If you can pan over, here's some of the BMW electrical vehicles right over here. That's really important to you. You have the i8, you have the i3. What is the future of electric vehicles from your point of view? Because they're still a fairly small portion of the fleet in the United States.
Correct, and globally they are still a small portion, but from a standing start with the i3 and the i8, 3 years in, we clicked over the 100,000 sale. 62,000 of those were actually done last year, so that tells you that the momentum's building. We set our stall out this year to do 100,000 in 1 year, so I think it's building some more, but clearly in a company producing and selling 2.4, 2.5 million, this is obviously still a small percentage. The car behind us here is a 5 Series plug-in hybrid. It has a range of about 50 kilometers. It has miles per gallon of in the mid-60s. It has a CO2 footprint of around 44 grams. It will meet the threshold of most of the tax incentives all around the world, and in many markets, this is going to be a really big seller.
So it's not just the auto share in New York that's making news. We also have news being made in New York by Donald Trump as he prepares to take over the presidency. As you look forward to a Trump administration, what are the opportunities for the auto industry in terms of changing of regulations that could benefit you?
I think, first of all, the signs for the economy are good. And here in the United States, this is our second largest market in the world. It is the home of our largest plant in the world in Spartanburg. We are exporting around $10 billion worth of product from the United States to other markets in the world. So, I think our commitment is there, and we're investing another $1 billion to bring the X7 online in the next year or so. So, this is a very important market. Standards are always interesting, and we're into a phase now where autonomous driving is going to come. Now, we've put a partnership together with Intel and with Mobileye, two of the world's big leaders in vision systems and, of course, computing systems. And what I think we need in the next months and a year or so is some standards of autonomous driving. It would be much more difficult if countries and maybe individual areas like cities said, this is what we want. So, this is the next big thing in the automotive world. Let's get some clear standards in place.
Another big thing right now is where the cars are being made. It's become a big issue with the incoming administration. You have a very substantial facility in Spartanburg. Make more BMWs there than anywhere in the world. At the same time, you also have a lot of investment in Mexico. Are you adjusting your balance between Mexico and the United States in response to the Trump administration?
We have an investment in a strategic plant in Mexico. Like we've had new plants coming online in other parts of the world in recent years. And as I mentioned, we're already continuing to expand and invest in our US plant as well. The plant in Mexico will come on stream start of 2019. We only broke earth in the back part of last year. And where ultimately those cars are produced and sold, we will decide in the next couple of years. In the moment, we bring 3 Series in from various plants in the world that are sold right across the world. One thing in the premium market, we produce global cars. So a 3 Series in the US is the same as one in Europe, is the same as one in Japan, and so on and so forth. So that is something which is flexible. We make 3 Series in various countries. We have a flexible response. We can make right-hand drive, we can make left-hand drive, we can make gasoline, we can make diesel, we can make plug-in hybrids, we can make different derivatives off the same platform. So it's part of our strategic investment in capacity rather than one that is destined to support one market or a particular different one.